Yes, guys, I'm Si. Welcome to Cardiff City World. It's Friday night. It is real hot. So we're going to have a recorded show tonight just because my son's home. We're doing some stuff, spending some time together, all that good stuff before he goes off on his trips again. Living the life of Riley, that kid. But anyway, we're here. And today we're going to talk about 5 young Welsh players which I think could do very well for Cardiff City this upcoming season. Brian Barry Murphy is here. And whether you are cautiously optimistic, you're already building a shine to him, or you're still Googling his Rochdale win percentage, one thing is clear: we are stepping into a new era at Cardiff City. It's an era built not on hoofball, not on sideways, backwards, not on panic buys, but on principles, structure, intelligence, calmness in the chaos. And above all else, youth development. So today we are doing what we do best here on Cardiff City World. We are digging deep into 5 young Welsh players who might just fit Brian Barry Murphy's philosophy. Into the Welsh pipeline we go, and it could be the heartbeat of Cardiff City's revolution. It is really exciting. These aren't just academy names, these are players with first team experience. These are 5 players who, in my opinion, if given the opportunity, are realistic options, but also have the abilities to transform the way Cardiff City play and to help implement the way Brian Barry Murphy wants to play. They can become vital cogs in a side defined by control, bravery, and football intelligence. So, to start off, let's talk about Brian Barry Murphy and his blueprint for what he wants to see from Cardiff City. Set the tone, if you like. Brian Barry Murphy isn't your average manager. He cut his coaching teeth in the League One trenches with Rochdale, but the tactical laboratory that is Manchester City's elite development squad is where he really got into it. He has coached players who now dominate the top leagues in world football, but more importantly, he builds identities, he motivates and he improves players. So what is his blueprint? Well, it starts with a shape. Either an old school 4-3-3 or sometimes a 4-3-2-1. Occasionally, he'll flip in a little 3-2-4-1 and all these different things. He is not rigid. He is very fluid in terms of what he likes to do. His teams build patiently from the back, often using a pivot in midfield to link the defence as well, with rotations around that to disrupting the opposition shape with a movement off the ball, and when the time is right, 1-2 touch, quick passing. Out of possession, he isn't a mad presser. He will want triggers. He will want structure in the way the team's set up and in and out of possession, and he will want the forwards to show the opposition one way and then jump, then pounce. It's a coordinated and very modern approach. But crucially, it isn't just about the system. It's about the brain power. It's about if you scan, you pass, you move, you understand the angles you're in. But also, doesn't matter if you're 18 or 28. That's why this era could be a real gift for Cardiff City, for the young, technical Welsh talent that we have in our ranks already, but also for some of those talents in the Wales 23s, 18s, who could really be an asset to Cardiff City on loan this season. So let's start first and foremost, Kai Andrews, a pressing midfielder, a pressing forward who has been on loan at Motherwell and Craig Bellamy shocked the world recently, or shocked Welsh football world recently when he named Kai Andrews in the first team squad group for the Wales game, whereas he hadn't. I don't think he played for the 21s very much at that point, if at all. He'd only been in the A teams. So Kai Andrews, remember the name. This is a 17-year-old lad who's based in Coventry, and he is one of the more intelligent young footballers in British and Welsh football particularly. Officially a Wales under-21 international now. He made his senior breakthrough on loan at Motherwell. Easy for me to say. Not with goals, but with game IQ. But let's have a little look at the numbers from his time at Motherwell. In 478 minutes of Scottish football in the Prem, he averaged 3 shots per 90 minutes. His XG was 0.14, but that tells you something. He is getting into areas to get opportunities. He's not forcing it. He made 1.6 successful pressures in the final third per 90 minutes, which was leading Motherwell's forward line in those type of triggers. So what does it mean? Well, it means he's pressing forward in the making. You wouldn't expect a 17-year-old to go and score 20 goals. He isn't a brute. He's not bullying defenders. He's pulling them. Dropping into the half space, linking play, timing runs. This is about game intelligence, the exact trait that Brian Barry Murphy demands from a central striker. Now picture him as a false 9 in a Brian Barry Murphy 4-3-3. Picture him as a number 10 behind Salic in a 4-2-3-1. He would create room for runners like Ruben Colwell in behind, or with the wing backs pushing on, or even the deeper midfields. His movement is the key and is gold. Is he raw? God, yeah. But give this kid a year in a controlled system with a top manager, and you could have a future Premier League ready playmaker in a few years. The guy's got the talent. Craig Bellamy's selection of him tells you that much. Do we give him the opportunity this year? Does he fit what we need? Could he be a good backup to Salic, but also sometimes play with Salic? It's certainly an interesting one. Next up, Lewis Kumas. So Lewis Kumas is already a star in the making, we know this. And not just because he scored against Cardiff in the Cup. Look, let's give him his due. Son of Jason Kumas, the legend of Cardiff City, even though he was only 2 seasons. He was he's the most gifted player. His dad is the most gifted player I've seen play for Cardiff. But let's give him his dues. You know, he's carving out his own path. He had a little prolific spell in Liverpool's academy, and then he's got real world experience, first team experience, with a 43 game loan in the Championship at Stoke. He got 6 goals, 2 assists, and quite often caused chaos coming off the bench. But don't take my word for it. Let's look at the stats. He completed dribbles, 1.1 dribbles per 90 minutes with a 33% success rate over the season. He created just under 1 chance per 90 minutes. In terms of touches in the final third, among the top 15% for Championship wingers aged under 21. It's not just about stats though, it's about how he plays. He likes to hug the touchline, and then he cuts in like a dagger. When he presses with intent, not just a headless chicken. He gives intelligent angles on and off the ball, and he funnels the opposition into traps to allow his team to press. This is kind of Brian Barry Murphy's ideal wide forward. He's brave on the ball, he finds pockets of space, he's willing to create for others as well as score goals. He tracks back, and is dangerous enough to win you games off the bench or from the start. Imagine him on the left of a 4-3-3, or on the left or right of a 4-2-3-1. Ruben Colwell just next to him, Salic stretching the line. That's movement, intelligence, and unpredictability. It's exactly what Brian Barry Murphy's looking for. Now, would he drop down to League One? I don't know. I'd like to think he would, for a Welsh team which has got such history with his father. But I don't know the guy, so I have no idea whether it's realistic. But I think it would be a fantastic signing, not just for Cardiff, but I think it would be a good signing for him to go and score some goals, get some assists ahead of the World Cup, potential World Cup, we should say. Then next up, we've got Charlie Crew, the brain in midfield, I think it would be safe to say. Charlie Crew isn't flashy, doesn't do rainbow flicks, doesn't shout and scream. He is just a footballer at a different speed mentally. He's 18 years old, but plays like a 30-year-old. He is Leeds United midfielder, made his senior debut for Wales in 2024, and it wasn't just a token cap, it was earned. He had a loan at Doncaster Rovers, which gave us a proper look at his ability. He played 13 games, and he averaged 27% of all team touches in midfield. That's huge. He won 57% of his defensive duels, recovered possession 5 times per game, and completed 85% of his passes. He's the guy that Brian Barry Murphy can build his midfield around. He is the composed controller who can sit as a single pivot or in a double pivot next to a number 8, but he can also play as a number 8. He plays with tempo, 1 touch, 2 touch, more. Eyes always scanning. And if you watch Brian Barry Murphy, his EDS slides, you'll see a pattern where the midfielders rotate seamlessly. There's like, they'll drop in short, they'll spin. There's movement off the ball all the time. Drop into the cover. The Charlie is encapsulated. The way Brian Barry Murphy wants to play and the way Charlie Crew plays is like that. It's the perfect match, in my opinion. The best part, he's only getting started. He is a supremely gifted midfielder, and I think, for me, this is the guy. This is the guy that I think could be the basis of Cardiff's midfield next season. Again, is it realistic? I don't know. He played at Doncaster last year, so maybe it is. I just think it would be an excellent signing. Obviously, as those Welsh links, as the Cardiff links, why not? And then number 5 on the list is Gabriel Biani. Now, this is a bit of a wild card, right? Biani is in a Cardiff City gem, left to go to Manchester United in 2023, and that hurt at the time. It felt like a real blow. But let's focus on what he can offer technically. You know, he's brilliant, he's press resistant, he's good at pressing, he's creative attacker. In the 2024-25 season in the under 18s Premier League, he played 10 goals and 3 assists. Most of those from a sort of central position where he was drifting between the lines, not just as a pure striker. What is his best position? I mean, I think he could play centrally, he could play wide. Under Brian Barry Murphy, that versatility is definitely a weapon. He can press from the front, he can take the pressure off Salic when he needs a break, he can link with midfield, he can stretch defences by running in behind. In terms of style, he's a kind of cross between a Cole Palmer and a more a striker which kind of runs in behind. He can do both. Exactly what Cole Palmer did for Brian Barry Murphy in the Manchester City setup. Give him structure, give him license to rotate, and you will get moments of magic from Gabriel Biani. Will he have his eyes set on somewhere a bit higher than League One? I don't know. But again, with a World Cup coming up, whether he's going to play for Wales, Canada or Italy, he is going to need regular first team football. Is Cardiff the right place for him? Who knows? And then finally, we have Finn Stevens, the right back. Last but not least, and I mean that sincerely, not least, Finn Stevens, at 22 years old, probably the most senior name on this list, in fairness, and he's probably the most tactically versatile as well. Originally, he started career at Brentford, then he played at Oxford United, where he played 34 times in League One, helped them win promotion, and now currently with St. Pauli in the Bundesliga. Though he's still adapting, in his League One season, he had 34 games, 1 goal, 1 assist, 75% pass accuracy, averaging over 2.3 progressive carries per 90 minutes as well. And it's this role that stands out. Finn Stevens can play right back, right centre half out of 3, invert into the midfield, overlap on the right, probably play at left back as well. In a Brian Barry Murphy system, he is made for it. Whether that is a fullback who inverts or a fullback who gets up and supports the winger, he can do both. He's comfortable on the ball, he presses with timing, he switches play well, he gives you tactical flexibility, which Brian Barry Murphy will love. But also, he's a bloody good defender. Bloody good defender. He's a real good right back. And if we were to sell Perry NG, having a right back setup of Finn Stevens, who wants regular football, and Ronan Kipakio is 2 really strong, young, pacey, aggressive right back options, and I really like it. I hope we go in for him. So let's look at it. Why does this matter? Because we haven't had a real youth identity in years. We've had good players. We've had a couple come through the academy, but no pathway, no philosophy, no system that connects a 17-year-old young Welshman to a 27-year-old young Welsh, middle-aged Welshman watching at the Cardiff City Stadium. Brian Barry Murphy offers a reset. And these 5 players, they're not just names for the future. They're names that fit now. They're names that can give us game intelligence, composure, tactical versatility, but also they can contribute massively with goals and assists, defensive work, etc. These are the type of players now who have come through the coaching setups at the various places. They're tactically ready. They're modern footballers. So let's get them under a modern coach and play some modern football. If the club is serious about that substantial growth and building around young players, having a look at these young Welsh players on loan or permanently is a really, really good idea. These are players we should be nurturing, and Brian Barry Murphy can help progress their careers, not hoarding has-beens and big names who fail to perform. So let's dream a little. Lewis Kumas causing havoc off the left. Biani ghosting between the lines. Charlie Crew pulling the strings. Kai Andrews in and about the place. Kai Andrews can play in midfield as well. Finn Stevens inferring into that midfield to give us overloads and really moving the ball. It's a real Welsh core. Like, I don't expect us to sign all 5. A couple would be fantastic. One I'd be happy with. I want to see a Welsh core, a modern Cardiff, a Brian Barry Murphy blueprint that we can all get behind, that unites Cardiff City, its fans and the club. Let's make it exciting. Let's give us something to be proud of. And let's implement and use these exciting Welsh youngsters coming through the 18s and the 23s that are so supremely talented. Because quite frankly, I'm sick and tired of seeing Ethan Ampadu and Joe Roden and all these talented Welsh players play for flipping Leeds. Let's have nice Welsh contingent at Cardiff and let's focus on the youngsters to do so. Let me know what you think in comments. I'm really interested. As always, please give me the context. I understand some of these may or may not be realistic to some. It's something light-hearted to think about on a Friday. Personally, I think at least one of these players will be in a Cardiff City shirt next year. Do I know which one? No, I don't. In the meantime, make sure you subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. And if you can, do become a member. I'm very hot, so I'm off to get an ice lolly. Have a great weekend. I will see you Sunday, and the boys will be back tomorrow night live. Take it easy, my friends. In a bit.